Well, I mean, and this is interesting that you mentioned that from guys, again, coming back to this framework of what is manly. And we're talking about this experience of being hurt and building up protection against being hurt. Is that part of the reason why, guys are taught, not to show emotion, not to cry? Because part of that is, I think, from what I understand, guys are kind of mushy inside. We're a lot mushier
Absolutely.
than
Yep. Sorry, ladies, but actually,
But
the
no,
truth
and it's
is,
not. I mean, I think the ladies want that. They want the mushy side of things as well,
absolutely,
and it's
absolutely.
so. But is it, is that part of this process of going, hey, this mushy side of things is okay? I mean, I guess, sort of part of me, I look at my history and go, well, I was kind of lucky, and I was in the army. I was in the. You're in England. You've got the same SAS that we've got here. I was posted to the SAS. Now they were pretty tough mofo's, if you want to put it in that category. What I didn't
Yeah,
appreciate is I had to do a psychological test before I went there, and so did everybody else. What I'm thinking now that I look back on it, the people part of that I can't remember what was in the test, but all the guys there were able to express emotions. They were able to ask for help. And I'm wondering, was part of that psychological test making sure that they could do that before they went there? Because you can't do what they did and not be able to express, ask for help,
mm,
express
emotion.
emotions. So this is
Yeah,
what I'm wondering from that side of things. Do we need to have, this framework out there, that being more talked about, that tough is not repressing this stuff. Tough is going, hey, I have got a mushy inside. I can be hurt and I need help sometimes.
but we need permission to be able to do that. So what we have, I would suggest, is an inherited baton
Mm,
that's been handed to us from a society back there.
mm,
Big boys don't cry, and it was well intended, but it has done as much damage as you must only write with your right hand. You
mm,
left-handed children must be taught how to not use your left hand and use only the right, because the right hand is the right thing to do. And we have a legacy that we're trying to unlearn some well-intended societal premise on which it was founded. And
mm,
it's still gone through the generations where we've handed on the baton. So in order to change that, we've got to hand on a different baton, and we
mm,
need permission to be able to cry and
mm,
show emotion. And it's not easy because the baton has been handed on, handed on, handed on, handed on. And until, enough of us start to show a whole different approach and our youngsters start to see, oh, daddy was crying.
mm,
Oh, so no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. It was just, it was yeah. And
mm.
yes, somebody died and it hurts. And I'm really sad. And we just need a commonality of approach, really more frequent over time. It's going to take a while, Damon,
Yeah.
to get rid of that inherited view of men.
Mm,
Times 100 other things that have been handed to us that we took and swallowed, and each generation kept handing on. So you and I need to try and hand on something different to our children.
yeah. Where do we draw the line, from, this manly macho masculine thing where, I mean, for example, mentioned military before. If you take the guys that are in Ukraine at the moment, and they stub their toe, or they're running along and they fall over, and it's like, get back up and move forward. Otherwise you're going to get shot. And I know I'm using an extreme example to labour the point. To the other side of things, are going, hey, so where is the time and place? How do we draw that line, from the example of going, okay, am I being a namby-pamby here, or do I need to just toughen up, deal with this, move on. Yeah, I got the sack from my job. Do I sit there and cry about it for a month and go, oh, sorry, family, I can't look after you? If presuming the guy is providing income to help support the family, it might be both doing it. So those that want to jump on that bandwagon, feel free to comment. But I'm not worried. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not worried about offending people. But from that side of things, I'm looking going, well, where do you draw the line and going, hey, I just need to toughen up? Not where, and I think it applies to both sexes, but we're talking about men here. Where does a man go, okay, I got to stop being a namby-pamby and get on and do, I have a responsibility, whatever that responsibility is. It might be I'm the person, I've friends of mine who, the men stay home, look after the family. She's off working. That's their definition of works. He hurts himself in some way, can't look after the family, but he can still move. Whereas the thing, where do you draw the line? I know it's a long-winded way of putting it, but
I think a lot of it is hot air bravado that us men have got to take on, seemingly, but it's not fitting us. A lot of us, it just isn't. Our personalities, our character, it isn't. But it's bravado that we go along with the flow. In terms of a practical answer to it, I think we do need more men's groups.
Yeah.
Because it's in those groups we start to experiment with a new way of behaving. But when we come out of those groups and rejoin society, we need a progressive society that gives us permission to be able to try out our newfound ways. For example, it ain't cool anymore to smoke.
Yeah.
In a pub, in a building, in a 30 years ago, there was a whole lot of stuff where society tried to balance. Well, people should have rights.
Smoke in the office.
Well, they should have rights.
30 years ago, but it was certainly
whenever it was. But can you see there was a transition from, even if we don't want to do it, others should have the right to. But then the health factor of why would anybody want to do that? No. Take away any place for people to go to smoke. It's progressively. In other words, we need permission from society to be able to experiment with the things that we're learning. But we got to learn them first. Yeah. And I think the place to learn them probably is amongst other men in groups where we try out a new way of behaving. But we need permission from a progressive society. Otherwise, we're going to run back in our shells and stay just in the group and, oh, nice to see you guys, but, oh, I don't try this out in society because somebody might look at me and think I'm weird and I'm strange. And none of us want to be ostracized and seen as different.